5:02 on Friday, February 12th, and I'm going to be diving back into writing tests for my CFML language definition for Prism.js. I don't entirely remember where I left off. I know I was writing the tests in here. I believe where I left off was writing the function variable feature test, but I think I ran into some issues with it and that one didn't get finalized. So I'm going to hop back to the terminal and I'm going to run, I forget the syntax for running the tests. We're going to dive right in here and get this up and running. Test drive, not what we wanted. We're zoomed in enough here? I think we are. Running the test suite, it is, it's like npm run test and then, alright, nice. npm run test : languages and then dash the language. Okay, so do npm run test and that should prompt me. Okay, so we're going to run the CF script language and we're not going to include that except. We're just going to run it straight. And so everything's passing right now. So what that means is our Boolean feature test here is fine. And our keyword test, we've got all those keywords listed. That was good. And let's see what else is going on here. And just right now YouTube's telling me that there's no data, but I think I'm streaming fine. So I'm just gonna keep rolling with this and we'll see what happens. Alright, we've got our keyword feature, our operator feature. That one took a little while, but those all worked. Scope feature. Okay, so the one that we left off was our function variable feature. And just to refresh myself, I'm going to jump back into the actual language definition. Our function variable pattern was trying to capture functions that are set as variables. Now it looks like, looks like my stream is a little bit slow and YouTube's not getting enough data. If that keeps up, I'll switch over to my streaming through my phone. Just, thanks, thanks Optimum for messing up my stream here. I'll keep an eye on that and I'll switch that. Sorry for any apologies for any lag with that. We'll wait. I'll give it one more minute just to see if that stream picks back up. I'm not sure what is. I can look over here, and this probably shouldn't show on the screen. Yeah, let's see what's taking up all my. Am I running? Okay. Let's go over here. That should. You never want to debug the what's taking up all the streaming bandwidth in the middle of a stream. That's for sure. Why are we not getting enough? All right. Well, let's see if we switch out. I'm gonna run a little speed test here, and our speed test says, okay, looks like, all right, it looks like the connection came back. If it didn't, that just means that my computer's lying to me, and that happens from time to time. But I believe that I've got a smooth connection again. Okay. Drama averted. Jumping back into the function variable. Okay. So we're trying to capture functions that are set as variables, and in our test, so I ran it, it looked fine, but I also wanted to confirm here, close that sidebar, we'll split this, and we'll do function variable feature test for CF script. I want to make sure that the stream that it captured matches what I would expect from this code. So our stream for the first one, foo equals function, we got foo, operators equals, function's a keyword, and a bunch of punctuation. So that one looks good. Number 2, function variable foo equals, all right, that was a function variable at the top. Yeah, okay. Am I zoomed in enough here? I think I am. Function variable foo, operator, keyword function, punctuation, just X, that's right. Punctuation, Y, and then, oh, that was one of my questions. I didn't know whether I wanted the arrow function here. Right now, if I scroll down to, so we did 1 and 2 there. 1 and 2, we're on number 3. 3 is the, not 3 doesn't have the arrow function. 4 here. 4 is using arrow function syntax, and so is 5. So let's go. Sorry, losing track of where I am. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. 4 is the first one with the arrow function, and we're getting we're getting the arrow function as an operator. That might actually be fine. I wonder what it ends up being in the JavaScript one. Function variable. So in their stream, what does this end up being? Because it gets captured. So, oh, it's captured as an operator. Interesting. Okay, so this is matching. This is matching what I believe this is matching what the JavaScript one does. It's even though this is, the arrow function operator. I guess it is an operator. It's just short function syntax. And interesting, theirs also is followed by this XRN, which I was getting too. Oh, but that's for the variable baz one. Which one's that for? Oh, well, I'm not looking at their, was that their actual test up here? Yeah, baz async. All right. Where? Oh, X is expected. And then that looks like a new line. I'm not sure. Oh, interesting. I guess that's fine. The new line is just being captured with however X is and the end of this function. Okay, got it. So we're matching what JavaScript has. Sorry for mumbling over myself here. This here, arrow function being captured as an operator matches JavaScript, and as does this XRN, which is just the X is the end of the string, and that's probably some type of a new line. Matches JavaScript. I'm fine with that. All right, so we'll close this. I think that was where I started running into things where I wasn't sure about. It was the end of the hour, so we're going to jump back to the one before it. Punctuation, this is what it takes to be thorough. Foo, colon, the function variable in this case is foo, colon is an, saying colon is an operator. Interesting. I guess it's an operator there. Again, I'm gonna defer to JavaScript on this one. Oh, it's capturing it as an operator. It's capturing it as an operator as well. You know what? If it works for JS, which is what I based this one on, then it works for us because the JavaScript one was put up as the example. So, function's a keyword and a bunch of punctuation. All right, good. So we're down to this is the, okay. So we don't want that one. We want mine. Okay, foobar is good. Foobar. Okay, so oh, nice. That actually worked there. Arrow equals. So that's the function variable equals bunch of punctuation and operator punctuation. Oh, I'm actually, this one might be good. We might be set with our function variable test. Although this syntax doesn't quite work for CF, so we should probably modify it. That's this one. So function variable d equals function. Example would be the name of the function. And what this is, some destructuring that's getting passed into it. I mean, I suppose we want it to function the same way. I mean, I believe destructuring is coming to CF 2021 and Lucy 6. So I'm gonna let that go. I mean, I think we match it well enough. If I copied this, let's just see. I mean, it's not like going to be like a common syntax in Cold Fusion, obviously. But if we dropped this in here, d function equals example props, those are all fine. I mean, that's how I'd expect that to be highlighted, the function and the function. So you know what, it works for me. And then we're down to function variable f was function to function with the function being passed into it. All right, so f operator equals keyword function, punctuation bracket x, operator equals fun, which is being captured as a function, which is what I'd expect there. And then a bunch of those. Finally, we have, not finally, everything is finally here. We're starting, so we just did f equals, so now we're down to this one. We're down to L. L is a function variable. Operator equals punctuation, x operator equals fun is a function, y operator fun is a function, we're here. And then we have our operator and our, yep, that's all good. And finally, now we're actually in a finally. A is a function variable, operator, keyword function, bunch of punctuation. Now the syntax, I mean, you're not going to be able to write this syntax in CF script. But the lexer, the language definition, is doing what I'd want it to. So I don't think I made any changes here. I'm pretty happy with where we ended up with that. Okay. Made the changes that we needed for CF. It ran fine, and we're capturing function variables. So that's good. And if there's any breaking cases, they'll just need to be added to it. All right, let's go back to the side. Let's switch back to one view. Open up our language definition. So what I was doing last time was making sure that each of these things that we specified in here had the appropriate tests, and the sidebar is so big. Okay, so function variables, we have those. Scopes, we have. Types, we have. Operators, we have. Keywords, we have. I guess since we have string defined here, we're going to need to add one. I'm going to need to see where I got that from, but we'll need to do that. And then comment, since we have that here, will also need to grab it. Now, okay, so those are the two that I'm going to need to do. So we will do a new file, and we will call it, let's do string first since it looks shorter, string feature.test. Make that, split that in two, move it over. Now I think, I mean, it's not cheating, I think I grabbed this from one of the other languages, but it looks like if I did grab it from another language, I changed it, because nothing else in the project is matching. So, let's just make this full again. We don't need the test yet. I need to figure out where I got this string pattern from, even if I did modify it. So I'll try grabbing a subset. Let's just grab a subset in here and see. I should have kept track of what I was doing while I was writing these, and if I had done that, then this writing the tests would have been a lot easier. Okay, that matches a bunch, so that's not a bad thing. What else we got going on? If we do that, it's just CF script. Interesting. Alright, so what if I go from here to the beginning? That's matching a lot of different things. So I thought I took it from I thought I took it from Java. But it's not matching Java here. Let me grab, oh, now C-likes looks similar too. So let's bring C-like in here. I wonder if C-likes was modified since, but I'm extending C-like, so that would be strange. Why would I have it in here exactly the same if I was modifying C-likes? So what's the difference that we have here? We start the same. We've got some type of matching here. And my stream is getting borked again, and you know what? Can't. Oh boy. I can't account for when the connection cutting in and out. Sorry about that. Optimum told me they fixed it today, so I guess they lied. Alright, so the difference seems to be at the end here. We also have, what, a potential line break that's not included in this one? I think that's the difference. So I'm wondering, let's hop, okay, I wonder, when was this last? Last changed 3 years ago, so definitely not exactly where I got this from. I'm going to open up the Java one just to see, because I would have thought I was, you know, with CFML similar to Java, I was basing a lot on either Java or JavaScript. But it doesn't look like there's a string. There's a triple-coded string, but that's it. And then we have JavaScript. And it has template strings, which we don't, and then a very basic inside string pattern, so it wasn't that one. Interesting. So the only one that I have that's similar is C-like, and it's nearly copied exactly, which means that this might not be necessary. So I'm going to try to take it out, because less is more. I'll save that, and I'm going to go back to our test drive and give this a refresh. Alright, so let's scroll down here, and let's just make sure that with that change it's doing what we expect. We've got, okay, so I'll show tokens here. Okay, inspect. Let's make sure all our strings, all our expected strings are strings. string, string, string. The word string is being highlighted. Why is the word string being highlighted? The word string is being highlighted as a built-in. Okay, so that's just matching the formatting there. I think everything that I mean, this is not surprising, but everything I had set as a string is still being captured with this change. Okay, so let's close this. And is that I'm going to be honest, I'm really frustrated with the internet right now. And I don't think there's a ton that I can do about it. My stream speed just keeps dropping below what it needs to be, which is a bit frustrating. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Our strings captured here are true, string, first name, test, name and something, and bar. If I roll that change back, do we get any different results? So I roll this back, put string back in, I'm going to give it a refresh, and we have true, string, first name, test, name, something, and bar. So there's no difference. So you know what? Deleting code is good. It's less to maintain. We're going to move that forward, save that. I should run through here and make sure that I'm tracking the changes that I've made. So we're going to clear that out. You know, we'll run those tests again. Just make sure I didn't mess anything up. Oh, I did mess something up. Interesting. Oh, because I wrote string feature and then ended up deleting the code. So let's, good sidebar. We will jump to the string feature test and we'll delete it because we don't need it. We're just extending C-like, and the C-like test is good enough for us. Alright, back to the terminal, run that test again, we're passing, okay, and we're good. Alright, so get status. What have we done here? Components, whoa. Don't want to add that. Okay, this is what I do want to add. Yes. Great. We're going to say add, or actually remove string pattern extending C-like produces same results. Alright. Alright, so what else do we have going on here? These autoloader changes were something from when I merged it up. The show language also, I don't think I need to change neither components. It's just that the tests just aren't being tracked yet, and we'll add them later. Okay, so keywords good, string is good. Now we have comments. So let's see where this may have been copied from Java. So I will hop over to Java to see. Comment. Apparently not. Alright, where? Comment. Nothing. Was this from C-like? This couldn't have been from C-like 2. No. The opening section here is the same. And this so these patterns look the same, but it looks like I added an annotation section in there. Maybe that came from okay, so that pattern is there. Look behind true, greedy. This is the same. So this matches C-like. The only difference is that inside of the comment, I added this annotation, and I'm wondering. So where did I get this from? Well, the only place it's showing up is in the CF script one. That is so strange. All right. What's happening? I mean, this had to have been, because I think what it's doing is the Java doc style highlights annotation. Now this looks a bit more complex than what I had. I'm just wondering when this was changed. Let's look for annotation in here. And this was done when? Come on, VS Code, tell me it was done 3 months ago. That looks like the stream might be slightly better when it kicks back in. Alright, stream. There we go. Alright, so I just had to switch my connection from my internet provider to my cell phone because my my internet stream was too slow, so I switched to running off a hotspot on my phone in order to get this to work. So Friday frustrations. Alright, we were looking at how the annotations were working here. And I guess lots of languages have those annotations. I don't think I took that from JavaScript because no, there's no annotations in there. But the annotation section in Java is different than what I have now. Now, what I'm inclined to think that I borrowed this from Java, and the Java package has since been updated. But you know what? Let's just hop over to GitHub. Let's go to the Prism.js GitHub and just look at when these changes took place. All right. I'm not logged in right now, but that's fine. And okay, let's look at components, Java, and let's just check the history of the file. So December, package and class name detection. Let's see what went on. Let's see what went on with this one. Class name. Let's see if annotation is in here. Alright, so the annotation, there's the annotation feature test. That's not what I'm looking for. This is annotation prior this line, and it was insert before. So let's hop back and just see if, well, that annotation does not match what I had here. I don't think I wrote I don't think I wrote this myself, so that's really strange. And it seems like streaming off my phone isn't working terribly well either. This is just a, let's see, this is just a doomed live stream, sorted out and working. Let me see if I'm gonna move my phone. See if that helps at all with the hotspot, because sometimes it does. Alright, so our annotation looks like this. We had it inside comments. Their annotation pattern is much more robust. I may have stripped it down. All right. Well, you know what? Let's look at the Java test for annotations, and we can work that into our comment test. Although I wonder, can we just move? Well, annotations, we really only want the annotations happening within comments. So we're gonna let that be. We're just gonna look at their annotation test. Okay, so scroll super fast down to Java, not JavaScript, down to Java, and Java has an annotation feature test. Not a comma one. Interesting. I guess we should make sure that dot highlighting works. We don't really care about these, but let's just make sure that dots work in our current setup. We might need to just write these tests ourselves, and that's fine. So I have a Java doc. Okay, product dot hint. Yeah, that's fine. The whole thing gets highlighted, and I don't necessarily. Let's look at just how VS Code. How does VS Code handle that? This is always my my barometer. If it doesn't like VS Code, language CFML. Yeah. Okay. So this is how VS Code highlights it. We grab it the same way. Totally happy with that. So we get the docs. Okay. Back to that. It's a weird annotation test. Let's see. A bunch of languages have the annotation testing. I wonder how comment testing looks. Comment testing. Does every language have one? Does C-like not have one? Interesting. Let's look. Sorry for scrolling so fast again. We're gonna hop into the C-like. C-like has a comment feature test. That's what we'd like. Is this how we'd like it to work? I think that's how we'd like it to work. But then we'd also want our comment to capture annotations. I should look at the documentation here. I'm just wondering if okay, there were some notes on how to do tests, running the test suite. Okay, I just want to make sure that if a language is inside another language, the way that those tests are supposed to be written might be slightly different. Testing a language in isolation, testing language. It's not language injection. Not related to a GitHub issue. Feature name underscore feature. Group all tests to one feature in one file. String interpolation feature tests. To test inclusion of one language into another. Well, that's not what we're doing. Because we're just making sure that annotations are captured within comments. Okay, so there's no rules with how this is done. I wonder how. All right, let's see. Best thing we can do is copy. What do we got here? JavaScript. Let's look at the JavaScript language definition, and let's see where it does nesting. So within regex, there's regex source. Which one's this? All right, that's one that's easier to pick out manually. All right, so there's a handful of things within template strings. I just wonder how their template string tests work. Whether they just have the code in there, JavaScript. So there's no. Oh, there's template string feature. Template string, template punctuation. All right, so their short test is just what they expect. So why don't we just write our own? We'll grab the C-like comment, and we'll just make sure that it also captures annotation, because we're extending. We basically have the same. We basically have the same comment pattern, but we're just making sure. Is there any annotation capturing in here? Comment string, class name. No, there's not, so that's why. All right, C-like test for annotations. C-like, rather for comments. We're going to move that into CF script. And then we are going to make sure we want to make sure that, okay, we can close that, make this 2, put CF. You know what I should look at? I should look and see, what am I actually, I know Gskinner is not going to be up, but I should just take a look and make sure that I understand what this regex is doing. And I know the site's going to be down because every time that I need it, it's down. But we'll try it again because it's preferable to online regex. Oh, it's up. Yay. You know, that's what you do. You just say something bad, and then it comes up. Matches the beginning of the string, anything that's not a dot, followed by an @ character, words, one or more of the preceding token. Oh, there's a Boolean here. Okay, so it's either the beginning of the string or anything that's not a dot. That's how it starts. Start or not a dot, followed by an @ sign. Okay, yeah, sure. Works for me. So let's grab our test drive in here. And well, so this is really, is this an annotation test or a comment test? Because that's not a comment there, that's an annotation. I wonder, let's just take a look at the, you know, things don't move as fast as I like, and that's frustrating, but eventually you get where you're going. So the annotation pattern here, alias punctuation, interesting for annotation, strange. I wonder if we can, do we have to specify are going to be done within comments? Like, well, I think we do want that, because I don't think we want, like, I don't think I want that to be highlighted. I mean, that's just not a thing. Just the word, you know, test. I don't think I want it highlighted as an annotation anywhere else in my code either. Like, that's, if I put a test in there, that's not a thing. And let me make sure actually here, if I go back up, let's show our tokens again. Let's make sure, I believe these are being captured as annotations. They are. Perfect. Lovely. So we don't have anything string here is comment foobar, and the whole thing is a comment. Then we have slash slash is a comment. Then we have comment okay, so this is actually a 2-line. Oh, interesting. I hadn't seen any of the tests go for 2 lines, but this one actually does it. It realizes that this is a string of 2-line things, and it puts them together. Okay, so that's more what we want. If we grab this, we'll break it down, but we'll put this in. And make sure that it captures product.hint as that it captures this whole thing as a comment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run where I want it to be. I want to do npm run test language is CF script, and I'm going to run it with accept. And it didn't like that. Why didn't it like that? Oh, because I already had. If I'm going to run it with accept, I need to clear out the existing token stream, so we'll do that. So we'll run back and we'll run it again with accept. It'll clear it out, and now we can actually take a look at what it generated and make sure that it's what we want. And it is. I mean, it captured it. It captured it as comment. This is a comment, followed by an annotation, product.hint within it, and then back out to comment. So that's definitely doing what we want it to do. Is there any other type of annotation or comment that we want it to check? I mean, I don't think, did Java, what was Java's annotation? Theirs was just, I mean, it didn't look particularly helpful. It was just a bunch of highlighted, items. Let's just see, annotation feature test, Groovy. Is nothing that we would really need. Annotation feature test, Kotlin is fine. I don't think we don't want these picked up on their own. We only want them within JavaDoc style things. Although, did I see a JavaDoc plus Java? I wonder what's JavaDoc inclusion. Let's just doc comment. So that's fine. All right. One last annotation feature test. Oh, there's actually not that much more in here. And that's completely different. Okay. So I'm happy with that. I mean, that shows the annotation getting captured within the comment the way that we would like it to. What else? Comment feature test. A lot of languages have comment feature tests. I guess it's not all that many. We're repeating again here. Let's just see. Nothing too special there. Okay. I like our comment feature test. So we've added that, and with that being added, sorry, this is This is messy. With that being added, oopsie, I didn't want that. I wanted the actual CF script language definition. We have our comment test, which also checks for annotations. We have our keyword, operator, and type tests, our scope, and our function variable test. So I think that's all the testing that we need to add. We're capturing everything that we want. It's going to run it again without except. I mean, obviously it's going to work because it ran with except. But that's looking good to me. Let's just hop over and because adding tests is actually not the last thing that we need to do. I believe that we, you know, let's be thorough here and let's make sure that all of our tests actually have a description on the bottom. So checks for booleans, checks for single and multi-line comments, along with annotation. Right. Function variables, checks for variables obviously containing functions, checks for all keywords, checks for all operators, checks for all scopes, checks for all types. Okay, get status, get add, tests, status, get commit, add CF script language tests. All right, pushing that up so that that's saved for me. So let's just take a look at, I know we need to do more, I believe. It's the example page, and while that was not in the title of what I planned on doing today, it's certainly something that's going to be helpful to do. All right. I don't know if this is big enough. Here we go. Create a new file, examples/prism. This is the template containing the example markup. Just look at other examples to see how these files are structured. We don't have any rules as to what counts as an example, so a single full example section where you present the highlighting of major features of the language is enough. All right. That's kind of what I'm inclined to do. I'm going to look at the examples for other languages, but I think I'm going to use the test one that I was putting together, because for me that would be the most helpful way to see the syntax highlighting. So we're going to run down to the bottom. That's not where we want to see. Let's go to examples. Let's find the next example. All right. We want to get past this part of the page. There we go. View more examples. So these are the existing example files, or the existing examples are in here. Okay, per language examples, markup, CSS. See, like we want to look at JavaScript. Let's look at JavaScript's examples, and let's look at, sure, it goes, and we'll look at actual Javas, and what, PHP. I just want to see, you know, what's basically expected for these files. Maybe Ruby too. Okay, and well, you know, why not GraphQL? We've got a range of timeframes in here. So we're going to scroll down, and I think the examples are pulled in here. So I'm going to imagine that this portion is generated automatically, and then this is what it shows: variable assignment, operators, indented code, regex with slashes, lots of regex related things, nested strings, strings instead of comments, strings with slashes, ES6 features, Go. These all have individual examples. Oh, so there's a full example. I guess we could do it that way, the Go way, a couple different small things, and then just a full example that shows how it's used, which is the one that I have. Comments, strings, numbers, keywords, Then we have the markdown one, Java, comments, strings, numbers, full example. So that seems to be comments, strings, numbers, something, and then a full example type thing. Oh, there's Rust, I guess, somehow. I guess I checked Rust. Strings, numbers, functions, and macros, attributes. All right, cool. So jumping in here, we'll just get this started. You know what? Maybe I'll get it done before next week. Maybe. All right, tests. No. Examples. Let's grab the Go one. All right, so it's just like a straight HTML file that has a bunch of the stuff in it. So let's duplicate it. Duplicate Prism CF script. This is a comment on multiple lines. Numbers, we'll just modify that to use the numbers that we have from our test. Honestly, I don't think anyone particularly cares about the number highlighting. We don't have runes. We will get rid of that section. We can put in a function, and then we'll do our full example, which we currently have in our test drive. We'll move this over. We'll put it in our full example. Put it in. Save it, and then let's see. I don't know if I need to rebuild or if this is just going to show up automatically on the examples page. Let's check for CF script. Not showing. Oh, I'm on the real present. I need it on the test drive. The test drive site. We will go to examples. We'll go to CF script, CFML script. Get rid of these. Bump, bump, bump. Close the panel, and we have CFML script. So that's how it can be defined. So yeah, this part is just generated automatically. Comments, numbers, we'll get rid of that. Functions, we'll fix. And then we have our full example here, which looks pretty good. I think this is a scope. Yeah, it's getting captured correctly. It's just the highlighting here isn't right. Comment, yeah, awesome. All right, so it's a matter of finishing up the example here and then cleaning up the all of my commits before I can merge this in. But language definition is set, tests are done, example is started, pull request is just a little while away. Almost there. Sorry for the difficulties in the stream, you know, internet problems. Sometimes, yeah, you just can't. Sometimes the internet just doesn't work. But thanks for tagging along. I'm very glad that this project is almost done. And I'll see you next week maybe. Have a great weekend.